safety shoe, goggle, hand glove. They issue, then they have a record because they have to show to legal requirement on the JKKP for those practice using PPE. Okay, and SOP is not necessary. Record you maybe need to show. So during audit, many auditor will go through the work area, your office, including the production or service area, modify the environment, then the temperature, lighting, noise, heat, any heat. So they will go through, then you write down a report. And some will go through by interview as a evidence, and you have a record to show evidence as a better. So next, 7.1.5 monitoring and measuring resource. Okay, this one is a calibration. Easy to understand. You call it calibration to provide suitable monitoring, measuring resource, and provide adequate resource to a specified inspection. So the resource for inspection, you make sure they are suitable in order to obtain expected inspection results. You need to calibrate and maintain the resource, retain the documented information. So you have to keep the records to inspect, to monitor, and in order to ensure fitness for their purpose. Okay, and this resource, the equipment, you need to verify and calibrate regularly the measurement equipment in order to have confidence in the measurement result. So when no such standard exists, retain documented information on the reference use. So if you don't have you don't have the calibration report, you need to make sure you have a records to show as how you refer your internal calibration. So you have data also for reference check also can be accepted. Then you identify the measurement equipment. You need to identify the measurement equipment, where is the location, in order to monitor the validity of their calibration for verification and protect the measuring equipment against the activity that may invalidate the result of measurement. So you need to make sure there's proper keeping. All the tools must be kept in the proper box. Then conduct corrective action. If a result is not good when you do calibration, you have to make sure pull back the previous measurement. You recheck again. So you have verified the calibration, you make sure instrument is in the good condition. When you send calibration, show the equipment is have a not proper condition, mean the result is out of spec, then you have to make sure the previous last time dulu punya result kalau dulu sudah buat mungkin dalam 2-3 minggu ada ukuran terlibat, dan kali ini you hantar equipment untuk calibration, tetapi dapat resultnya calibration equipment sudah tak, kejituannya sudah terlalu out of spec. Jadi kena trace balik, boleh trace balik dulu ukuran buat di mana equipment ini, dan pergi cek semula, dia tak ada menjadi kecacatan. Okay, so you have a procedure. Under the folder QA, P01, you have a calibration procedure, SOP, under QA section. And record you need is important. You have to have a record to show that equipment So you need to come up a summary with a master list for all relevant documents so that you can trace back and you can check back then when there is a problem. And the internal, you do internally, then your internal verification report need to be kept, and also external, then external calibration report need to be available. So the equipment measurement, this is sample the master list. You have the equipment, then the model, then what's the acceptance tolerance. Then you come up, you have the either do internally or do external. Then when is the calibration date? Then when is the expire date? Okay, so this one you need to be available to trace back. Okay, so 7.1.5 calibration, monitoring and measurement. Then you no need to have SOP unless you do internal calibration. You need to prove with a work instruction, or any procedure how you do calibration internally. Okay, then record is necessary and must be traceable. Okay. Clause 7.1.6 organization knowledge. You need to determine the necessary knowledge acquired, maintain, and make organization knowledge available to extent necessary, and you need to take into account the need or additional knowledge. So you need to make sure your company that how many or what is the type of technical person you need to have in order to control the process and the conformity of products and services, and in order also to maintain the performance of QMS when needs and trends have changed. Organization knowledge still same under the procedure MR folder, MR P04 management. You can see the management organization knowledge under para 5.2.5. So the company had to make sure the knowledge necessary for operation of the process and achieve conformity of the products. They may include knowledge and information from internal source, maybe by training, lesson, feedback from subject or matter expert or intellectual property. External resource, you can do the get external resource either by follow the standard or academic or conference or attend a meeting, training, and others are resource from customer or supplier or subcon. This knowledge you need to keep and make available to extent necessary. When addressing change needs and trends, companies should consider the current knowledge. So you any change on your process or change on your quality performance trend, so you need to consider is that current knowledge and current experience is not adequate, and you need to improve, you need to add in new knowledge, then you better do. So under 7.1.6, you no need to have a document SOP for this, but you need to prove with the evidence or records. Normally auditor will check the record. Example, internal auditor training. You need to show you have a certificate for the internal auditors certificate. Or QA lab test. Some QC they have a lab to do perform the test. You need to prove with the work instruction how they do the test, and is that the training follow the work instruction. Or you do internal calibration. You need to prove with your work instruction and the training are done for that particular person. or welder. Person do welding, welding for piping, soldering, soldering. They solder at the PCBA board. They do a soldering circuit, or you do welding on the piping, or so this one the people must be competent. Mean they have either training from external with a certificate, or they do internal training with the work instruction, and the records of training need to be available, and yearly you need to refresh on the training. Jadi seterusnya kita sambung ISO Clause 7.2 Competent. Jadi nak menjadi competent, seseorang itu mesti ada training kan. Jadi competent bermaksud training. Jadi training ini basic is ada person doing work that affect quality performance. So the competent required for that. So they must be a proper education, training, or by experience. So there's a suggestion that the action taken for a personnel to be competent is provide a training, or by mentoring, or the assignment, the job. By hiring, you hire or contract a competent person, and you can get outsource for the competent personnel, okay, to perform the work. So you need to have evidence of the records competent. Clause 7. You no need to have any procedure, but you have. So your procedure is under the folder HR. Folder HR P01 is a competent and awareness training. Okay, so HR-P01, you can refer that. And under the para 5.1 is the training, the flow for training. You can go through for the more details. And after training, during training, sure you have the training next. Every year you need to have training next. January, on January you come up training next assessment. Okay, you can send a list of quality training, including the service or production training. Then can take the outcome, and you plan for the annual training plan once a year, every January. Okay, then during training you need to make sure, especially the internal in-house training, external or internal. In-house training you need to have attendance record. In-house training, if you're training at the outside, at the hotel, etc., only training certificate will be evidence as the attendant. Then after that, after training, normally after 1 month, and you come up evaluation of that particular training. The result after training means you need to evaluate. Is that the staff you send for training, they understand and they get the experience for the training. So you need to know the result. Then after that you record the individual training record. Okay, individual training record. Some company they have the individual training record, which the evaluation also inside the individual training record. Okay, they simplify, make it simple. Just take the result of evaluation, and the evidence of evaluation is based on their interview. Okay, there is no additional challenge for evaluation. Multinational company, they have a evaluation record checklist, They will record down one by one what they invest.